that I have relished the most is gardening, because all these living being plants are so merciful. You can get a lot of blessings by serving them nicely, because they are also have feeling, willing, emotions, everything. That's why they are called living being. Maybe their intellectual part has not yet developed as a human being, but they are really loyal. They surrender to the nature. They never complain. What a tolerance they exhibit in their life. So we can learn so many things. Other realization came that even we try to show the human being, you know, you will see that you may not get the same reciprocation. You may have shown someone for long, but when the time comes that you need their help, they won't be there. So, in one sense, not to criticize the human being, but that's a reality. Yesterday, we were talking to Asit Krishna Maharaj about this point. Mahatma Gandhi was not a really spiritualist, but still he has that. I think, I don't know, when I was young, I saw that he used to carry the three deities, three boys. One is closing the eyes, one is closing the mouth, and one is closing the ear. And it has also the deep effect that all these lower classes piece of life, they don't absorb of hearing Gramya Katha. They don't see bad in anyone. Even though nobody watered them, they will never make any big deal. They will dry themselves. They never utter something that is unpleasant. So, what we see, what we hear, and what we speak, what we think has the implication in our devotional life. So Maharaj was making a point that so many times why the devotees doesn't succeed in the devotional life. Many join, but very few attain the goal of life. And Maharaj was really making the point is nothing but just the offenses toward the devotees. That's hamper our progress. And Maharaj was so kind, he said that if we hear something bad about anybody, because of our mentality is like a crow, it will be very difficult when we see that person, those thoughts that you hear about that, it will come. And that's a great offense. Maharaj was saying that if we just do one thing, do not think anybody lower than us, that is not our business to judge anyone. Krishna is controller. He controls everything. Why you want to take the position? So Maharaj was saying a lot of the devotees in ISKCON doesn't make that ultimate goal because they hear so many nonsense. And then their mind get polluted. And experience of yourself, you must have some blasphemy about some devotees. Just think about it. When you think about the devotee, the first thing will come into your mind, what you have heard about or her. And that's, Maharaj was saying, is a great offense. So this is something, and when we see, when you show this less grown living entity like cats, dogs. You see how loyal they are, even though they don't have the intelligence, but their intelligence is still very well protected because they follow the nature. They don't complain. You know, the dog is running and you run over and crush his leg. He will cry for some time. But what else he will do? He will not come and bite you. He will not keep that envy in your heart that when I become good, I'm going to kill that person. I'm going to bite that person. They don't remember. So this was something was really profound when we are talking with Maharaj. So I thought to bring it out. Maybe it can help us. And learn that if you have heard something, how you will not able to remember. Practice it and you will see how difficult it is. And that's the reason we are rotting in this rotten material world. So let's dwell now on the Manaha same point, similar, splendid instructions to the mind. We are on verse number 7, commentary by Shivaram Swami Maharaj. This image here in this verse is the shameless prostitute, a dog flesh eating prostitute dancing in the heart. And she doesn't dance alone. Yeah, and Maharaj was saying also, that was also very prominent, that those persons that they know that somebody is talking bad about them, him or her, they pray to Krishna that please help them even though they criticize. Please do not take any action against them. They are so kind. And Maharaj gave a couple of examples. That was really profound. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in his song commentary, who does she dance with? She dances with her lover. And what's her lover name? Kapatya Tat Upapati, deceit. After the party, they are all in for the evening. And what is byproduct? Naturally, they start to beget children, such as hinsa, violence, ill will. Violence and ill will become a byproduct of that little party in the heart. Therefore, ultimately, this dance of the prostitute and her lover will destroy all the good virtues in the heart and will fill the heart with cruelty. One will become a cruel-hearted person. One has to be very careful to not allow these things to remain in our heart. Therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, quote, better that I am in the association of those who are pointing out my faults and helping me maintain a humble attitude than to live with those who praise me. Hari Bol. So we have to be, it's in one sense, it's very good personally for us. Somebody find out our faults, we should be grateful. But at the same time, if somebody is telling us, we should leave the space because it would be very difficult. They are not actually, when you hear the blasphemy, they are not helping you. They are destroying your devotion. They are not your real friend. Practice it in your life and you will see how difficult it is. Now, we refer once again to these three sadhakas, Swanishta, Parinishta, and Nirpeksha. What will happen to them if they also continue to harbor this deceit within their hearts and this desire for honor and distinction. Acharya is opening up the book so nicely that there is no trace of misunderstanding. This is a subsequent to what we read in the previous verse. This one is the bhakta or the householder who is trying to be fully surrendered, who is fully engaged in preaching activities, start to yearn for honor and manifest the hope for being seen as being a great religious leader, a very generous personality and sinless. This is for Swanishta devotees. He wants recognition for his positions. The Puranista, or the devotee nicely following the rules of bhakti. Hear these sentences very carefully. Worshipping the deity in their home and working in whatever particular way they want to become recognized also as a great devotees. To be seen as very detached and very knowledgeable. So these are the deceitfulness appear in Parinishta devotees. Now listen about the Nirupeksha devotees. Everyone should recognize that they have become pure devotees. Being completely detached, understanding the purport of all the shastras, and being the master of all aspects of bhakti. For all type of devotees, the problem is mainly always wanting recognition. An important point is that Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, this honor is one of the elements of deceit. He says, deceit can be rooted out to the proportion that one is free from this desire for honor. So to the degree we are actually free from this honor, to that degree the deceit will actually leave the heart. And the heart is like a cup. You have a cup of ink, and if you just keep pouring in milk, then ultimately all the ink will be out. Therefore, what we want to fill the heart's cup up with this pure devotional service, render with real humility. Here, specifically what is being stated is that one should show the pure devotees. This is the key thing. Try to find the pure devotees and show them from your heart. Only Krishna will give us the intelligence to understand who are the pure devotees. Otherwise, we may keep on serving throughout the life, which has those deficiencies in the devotion. So he says, Katham sadhu prema spursti. Spursti means touch. He says, this sadhu prem, love of Godhead, will not even touch us. Not to mention we will not get it. We won't even be able to touch it. We won't touch it. And it will not touch us as long as our consciousness is contaminated by this desire for honor. What to do? The verse says, Sadatvam sevasva, always show Prabhu Daita. Samantam, pure devotees of the Lord, who are Atul. Atula means pure. Then Niskasya Tvaritam, they will very quickly kick out all these impurities and Vesayati. They will establish Sadhu Prem, that pure love. We will continue reading these wonderful instructions. This is the splendid instruction to the mind, because mind is the one who creates so many problems in our life. And our Acharya is so kind to all of us to bring it out those obstacles. And in which form they appear, they go in detail so we can really manage our life. So now we will dwell in the Prabhupada's life. We are reading Prabhupada Lilamrita, volume number 4. Chapter title is a lot of ground to be covered. I'll read one paragraph because our mind is so dull. What is the name of Bhuteswar Mahadev? Who remember? Today in the meditation, we visited her temple also. What was the name? Anybody? Sutadhar? Anybody remember? Pataleshwari Devi. Pataleshwar Devi is the wife of Bhuteswar Mahadev. So we can see how dull we are. So let's read one paragraph because this is a continuation, so it will give us little link. The Bhagavad Gita is being interpreted in so many different ways. And these so-called explanations are being accepted by the innocent public as authoritative knowledge. Someone is explaining that Kurukshetra means this body and Panch Pandava means the senses. But this is not explaining. How can you explain the Bhagavad Gita as it is when you do not understand it? Such an attempt is nonsense. What a heavy statement we left. So in his second lecture, Prabhupada narrated more of Ajamil's life. He's leaving his chaste wife and going to live with a prostitute. He's adopting illegal means for supporting her. He's having 10 children by her and living sinfully until his 80th year. This story took place. Srila Prabhupada says, thousands of years ago. Quote, at that time there was only one Ajamil. But you will find many Ajamils like that at the present moment because it is the age of Kali. Unquote. Ajamil had great affection for his youngest son, Narayan. And as Ajamil lay on his deathbed, which is going to come to all of us one day, as Lochandas Thakur put it very nicely today in the song, was really nice. Devya Mataji selected so wonderful song. And Ajamil lay on his deathbed and saw the agent of death approaching. He cried out for his son Narayan. Those moments is ahead of us if we are not gonna cleanse our heart. Prabhupada continued his story. Quote, he was just on the point of death. So naturally he had affection for his son. So he was calling Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. Please come here, please come here. That is natural. I know my father When he was dying, I was not at home. So he was living for one day to see me. This is a very nice thing, Prabhupada says, because also I was dwelling that Krishna is so kind, if you see it, that we have the number of breath we will take, inhale and exhale. This is how our life is destined, how long we are going to live. And that's the reason the persons who do the meditations, they stop inhaling or exhaling and they prolong the life for 500 years, 1,000 years. But one thing it is really coming prominent to me, just to prove that how Krishna is so kind, even when the death comes, he gives the choice to the person. Would you like to die or you want to still live? And that's fact, I am totally convinced. Unless and until we suffer so much, the pain will be so much that you will tell Krishna that please take me. Otherwise, we are so attached. So Krishna, how kind he is. He will allow you to live little longer if you want to. Live. But when you say, I don't want to live then and then, Krishna take us. What a kind person Krishna is. So he was living for one more day to see me. And we have seen, sometime if the parents are very attached with their children, and if they are overseas or something, they will wait to leave this world. And we have seen this many times that how that person can survive. But they survive because they are waiting for someone. And I have seen in my life that once they see or whatever the desire is completed, they leave this world very quickly. He was always inquiring whether Abhay has come back. Prabhupada is reinstating that this is Karunya Murti Mataji, please. Yes, thank you. Like that. So father's paternal affection is like that. And similarly, Ajamil was calling Narayan, Narayan. Narayan is also a name of Krishna. And Prabhupada said that according to Bhagavad Gita, if a person remembers Narayan or Krishna at the time of death, he becomes liberated. But we have to so fix so much pain, so many things is happening. We cannot even breathe. Mucus and bile will capture our throat. The King Kulsekar has sung a beautiful song that when I'm healthy, I cannot concentrate on the lotus-like lotus feet of Krishna. What are the chances when my throat will be choked with the mucus bile air? King Kulsekar has said, but we take it for granted. I'm going to remember Krishna. Haribol. One's mentality at death determines one's next birth. Because the devotee is Krishna conscious, he entered the spiritual world at death. And because the materialistic is absorbed in sense pleasure and mental speculation, he has to take birth after birth in the material world. And Prabhupada has, to make that point very strong, he also gives the example to substantiate. Quote, one gentleman in Calcutta was a fairly big businessman. He was dealing in share stocks. So at the time of that, he was crying. Kamar Hari, Kamar Hari. So the result might be that he might have taken his birth as a rat in the Kamarhari Mill. It is possible, Prabhupada says. At the time of death, whatever you think, that will carry you to your next type of body. Because Ajamil had called on the name of the Lord, even though referring to his son, he became purified of all the sins. Yet, because of his sinful life, the messenger of Yamaraj, the Lord of the Death, also appeared to take him for punishment. Quote, when Ajamil was dying, he saw that there were three ferocious persons, very fearful persons, with ropes in their hands. Sometimes a dying man cries because he sees somebody has come to take him to Yamraj. Sometimes some person may urinate or some may pass the stool. He sees and he is very fearful. So Ajamil also become fearful. The assistants of Yamraj have hair very cold and the hair on their bodies are standing. Now at the time of Ajamil's death, the assistants of Yamraj came to take him, unquote. Then Prabhupada paused, quote, we shall discuss sometime again this topic. And he ended the lecture. So another topic we are embarking. Prabhupada began making life member in Indore by sending Hansadutta out alone. Hansadutta was inexperienced and even skeptical that anyone would pay 1,111 rupees. So Hansadutta is explaining this situation, what he went through in his own words as follows. One day Prabhupada told me to go to the market with a neighbor and take these books. He had 3 Krishna books and try to make some life members. Just show them the books, he said, and tell them this is a token of our work. Then ask them to please help our mission by becoming a life member for 1111 rupees. I was thinking that no one was going to give 1,000 rupees for 2 or 3 books, so I just didn't do anything about it. I just avoided the issue. The next day, Prabhupada gave me the same instructions. But again, I didn't do anything. On the 3rd day, he said, I had to go. So I went next door and I got a man who took me to the cloth merchants. We went to the shop of a biggest cloth merchant in Indore. The man didn't speak English, so the neighbor who had accompanied me translated. I would say, tell him this, tell him that. And the man would translate everything. After I had exhausted my presentation, I said, quote, now ask him to give a check for 1111 rupees. My translator relayed the message, and the merchant immediately took out his checkbook and wrote the check. Then we visited another merchant, and the same thing happened. He immediately wrote a check. We went to another merchant, and he also became a life member. So I made 3 life members on the first day. And when I came back and told Prabhupada, he was in ecstasy. I have little realization by going out to raise the fund. We have to completely depend on Guru and Krishna. They do the work. Our words doesn't penetrate, but they act on our behalf. And actually they are the one who make that other person's heart soft to accept. And also one more experience, the middle class, the person who is struggling, they will be more inclined to give the donation. I have one person that he was living in debt. He has borrowed the money, but he said, no, I want to give you this money. And I said, I cannot accept from you. You just finish. And he said, no, I will deal with this, but you please take this donation. What a big heart. I always remember the beggar, they have all the beggars beg. Some fortunate will get some chapatis. What they do? They don't consume themselves, they share with others. But we have forgotten that we want to use everything for ourselves. Nobody should take anything. And my Gurudev used to tell, don't try to cheat Krishna. He said, when you put the money in the donation box, Krishna doesn't see how many hundreds dollar bill you have put it in. He see how much you are keeping for yourself. Haribol. So by sending disciple and by sometime going out himself, Srila Prabhupada soon has a dozen ISKCON life members in Indore. Prabhupada, Hansadutta and Giriraj visited the king of Indore and invited him to become a life member. But the king declined. That's what I was telling you. Rich people. The devotees were disappointed. And in the car on the way back to Gita Bhavan, Hansadutta asked Prabhupada, really, quote, did I say the right thing about the books? Unquote. Prabhupada responded, my books are like gold. It doesn't matter what you say about them. That's what I was telling you. It's not us. It's Guru and Krishna. One who knows the value, he will purchase. Because visitor often asks Prabhupada and his disciple what they thought of various popular spiritual teachers. And Prabhupada gave his disciple hints on answering such questions. Prabhupada is so smart. If the teacher was not a bona fide follower of Vedic scripture, Prabhupada says the devotees should reply, Swami who? By thus indicating that he had not heard of the particular teacher. He would minimize the teacher's importance. Then the devotee should ask, what is this Swami's philosophy? When the person explained, the devotee could defeat the particular philosophy without attacking the person. What a nice way Prabhupada is teaching. India had many Mayavadi gurus, Prabhupada explained, and they often travel in groups from one conventions to another. Although each had his particular style, primarily they were interested in chapatis. And for every chapati, he said, there are many Mayavadis. So there is a competition. Haribol. Prabhupada is changing the topic No, it's 6:55, perfect time. So thank you very much for joining this beautiful morning. Hope that listening the devotees chanting, they are making substantial connections. And my question to all of you, who you see when you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Our Acharya has given little hint that we should have some attachment to some deity in the world, whichever. Or you may have attracted by some pictures of Radha and Krishna. And while we chant the holy name, we should meditate on that beautiful form because you like it anyway. You will relish it, saying more and more because you love them. So, this is how, and when you see the deities or the picture, because it had attracted your heart, you will be so careful the relationship established by seeing that person in front. And then you will see when you say Hare, you see Radharani. When you say Krishna and Ram, you see Krishna. And when you see this person in front of you, you will be much more careful to call the name nicely, isn't it? This is how the relationship can be established. And slowly, this Mahamantra will be become effaced. And you will just see when you say Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you will see nothing but Radha and Krishna. It's need the cleaning process that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to all of us. And it is so nice that devotees are becoming sincere, and so many devotees now, on Saturday chant so beautifully. That's the first sign. I can tell you, when I go to any temple early in the morning after Mangalarti, that they feel they are there every morning. And this is like a sort of, they feel distinction. Who are you to tell me something? I'm here every morning. And when you hear their chanting, not to put them down or anything, but you will see how much attentive round they are chanting. Stay with those pure devotees and our life will be successful. So thank you very much. One thing that, like yesterday, when I talk something, then Nayanamrat Prabhu come to have some explanation on this thing, whatever I say, a couple of words. So then he was sharing with me that Prabhu, one thing I have learned from you, that don't judge. Let Krishna do his work. Don't try to become a controller. Krishna knows everyone. Even what the slightest thought pass through our mind and heart, Krishna has the way to know is why we want to be somebody. And I said, really? He said, yeah. Anyway, I heard that he is going for the book distribution on Saturday. So I was feeling that maybe I should join them because Patit Pawan Prabhu is doing excellent job. And I want to, actually, I have a desire to raise some fund for the brahmacharis because I have seen that they dedicate their youth without any motive or to save any money. I asked Patit Pawan Prabhu, are you keeping some percentage? He said, no. I said, you said. And then so many visiting devotees also, like Radhacharan Prabhu and all other devotees who visit them, they asked me, what do you think about those things? I said, yes, they should give some money because you never know which temple authority you have to work under when you retire. In my experience, I was telling Asit Krishna Maharaj that I feel so uh, bad that our society doesn't take care of those who dedicated so much. And Maharaj agreed. And Maharaj gave the example of the Bangalore temple. You know the uh, what is the uh, temple president there, disciple of Jayapataka Maharaj. It starts with Madhu something. Anyway, we don't want to criticize anyone. But Maharaj was making the point that when they become Ritvik, he had the meeting. And there Maharaj was saying there were about...
Madhu Pandit.
Madhu Pandit Prabhu, yes, thank you very much, Manani Mataji. So, Prabhu, there were, I think, Maharaj was saying it's in hundreds. Brahmacharis were there at the Bangalore temple. So when he became Ritvik, he called the meeting of all the brahmacharis and forced them that give up your spiritual master. His spiritual master is also Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He said, give up. Our guru is only Prabhupada. So there were, Maharaj says, some brahmachari, they can't accept that philosophy. So they refuse. We don't want to give up our Guru Maharaj. Jayapataka Swami Maharaj has given us the birth in the practice of devotion. How can you tell us? So Madhu Pandit Prabhu kicked them out on the street. And Maharaj, because he was engaged in this, living in India, he saw practically they have no food because they were completely dependent on the temple. So when I say this thing, Maharaj says, a wonderful idea. You never know. I have seen many things in our society. You know, Prabhupada said, I will see how you love each other. Attend some of the GBC meeting and you will see how cooperative our society. Sometimes it's reflect the inner mood, not for criticism, but we need to learn. We have to be open, not for criticism purpose, but we have to live in a real world because we have to face our situation ourselves. There will be no one to assist us. So you have to be very intelligent, well-planned life. So these are some of the thoughts that pass through my mind and heart. And I have seen those carelessness or not taking care of the devotees who had surrendered, who is not going to make a mistake in their life, but put them down like terrible. It's burn our heart to see those actions. Krishna is in charge and he will do the right thing. That's all we can say, but we have to be. I told Patit Pavan Prabhu, and also I have some meeting with when traveling brahmachari come to my home. I had practically tears in my eyes. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. So these are. We'll see you tomorrow before tomorrow.